The dumpster fire that was 2021 is officially over and we have entered 2022. Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Ash and welcome to Pages in the Stars. If you're new here, hello. If you're returning, welcome back. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below so you can be alerted to all my bookish, not bookish, and sometimes ranty content. I already said it, but it bears saying again, Happy New Year. I hope everyone's having a good first week to their new year and is just enjoying whatever it is that they're doing. With it being the new year, I decided I wanted to sit down and talk about 9 of the books that I am most excited about that are coming out within the first half of 2022. So that is between January and June of this year, and then once July hits, I'll do another list of books that I'm excited that are coming out in the second half of the year. Number 1 on this list, and a shock to no one, is The Kindred by Alicia Dow. I go on ad nauseum on this channel about how much I loved her debut novel, The Sound of Stars, and when I heard about The Kindred, I knew it was going to be a book that I wanted to get on my bookshelf or on my Kindle as soon as it came out, and I absolutely plan to. So The Kindred is Alicia Dow's second book. It follows 2 characters, Joy and Felix. Joy is a commoner, Felix is a duke, and they are mentally linked in a way that is very similar to the way that Rey and Kylo Ren were linked in The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. When the royal family is murdered and Felix is accused of being the murderer, he and Joy steal a spacecraft and crash land on Earth. This book sounds like it's right up my alley, and I am super excited to see what unfolds between the pages. And it drops January 4th, which is today, which means you can go get this book now. And you should do it. You should go get this book now. The second book on this list is This Wicked Fate by Kalynn Bayron, and that book comes out June 21st of this year. Now, this book is a sequel to This Poison Heart, which was one of the few books I was able to read in the dumpster fire that was 2021. I love the magic in it, I love the incorporation of Greek mythology, and the ending of that book literally pulled the rug out from underneath me. I was not prepared for the ending of that book. So, needless to say, I am eagerly awaiting to get my hands on the sequel, This Wicked Fate, which, as I said, comes out June 21st of this year. I don't want to go too in-depth into talking about what happened in This Poison Heart, because I know there are a lot of people who haven't read it yet, but definitely do yourself a favor, go out and read This Poison Heart, and then when the sequel comes out on June 21st, definitely get that, because that first book took me for a ride, and I'm probably not ready for the roller coaster that is going to be This Wicked Fate, but I'm going to get on that. I'm going to get on that ride anyway. Alright, the third book on this list is Amari and the Great Game by B.B. Alston, and that is out May 31st of this year. Now, Amari and the Great Game is a sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. I'm actually currently in the middle of reading Amari and the Night Brothers, and I have to say, I absolutely love this book. The world building is so solid, and even though I'm a full-grown adult, this book makes me feel like I'm a kid again. I really wish I had read it sooner, but I'm really happy I'm reading it now, and needless to say, I am eagerly awaiting the sequel when it comes out later this year in May. Alright, the next book on this list is Ashes of Gold by J.L. It comes out January 11th, and it is the sequel to Wings of Ebony, which I am still working on. I started reading Wings of Ebony in 2021, and I didn't finish it. I'm not calling it a DNF because I didn't intentionally stop reading the book. It kind of just organically happened because there was a lot going on in 2021 and my reading definitely fell by the wayside. But with Ashes of Gold coming out in literally just a week, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and knock out Wings of Ebony this weekend, and then I can immediately get into Ashes of Gold when it comes out next Tuesday. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's what I'm going to do with these. The next book on this list is You Truly Assumed by Laila Sabrine, and that book comes out February 8th. This was a book that I saw talked about on Twitter a lot, so it piqued my curiosity and I decided to look a little bit more into what the book was going to be about. You Truly Assumed follows a teenager named Sabria who has an entire summer full of events planned out that unfortunately do not come to fruition when a terrorist attack happens near her neighborhood. When the terrorist is assumed to be Muslim and Islamophobia in her area ramps up, Sabria turns to her online journal titled You Truly Assumed as an outlet. It goes viral, creating a place for other Muslim teens to find comfort and solidarity. That is You Truly Assumed by Laila Sabrine, and it is out February 8th, and I am eagerly awaiting the arrival of this book. Alright, the sixth book on this list list is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. I can't be the only one, and I know I'm not, who is hyped for this book just because, well, it's Sabaa Tahir. And a lot of us I know are massive fans of The Ember and the Ashes series and Sabaa Tahir's writing style in general. So I know a lot of us are excited to see what she does with a more contemporary style book. So, All My Rage flip-flops between the past and the present. In the past, it chronicles the story of two newlyweds who immigrate to the United States and open up a motel, and then in the present, two friends. One of the friends is scrambling to save his family's motel, and the other one is secretly applying to colleges while working at her uncle's liquor store. And I'm super excited to see what Sabaa Tahir does with a more contemporary book. I've seen a lot of people who got arcs and have already read it, and I've heard nothing but praise for All My Rage, so I can't wait to get it when it comes out in March. Seventh book on this list is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow, and it is out April 5th of this year. This is another book that flip-flops between the past and the present, chronicling 70 years of a family's story. The story starts off with our main character Joan fleeing from her father with her mother and her younger sister to the city of Memphis. As she grows, she meets a woman named Miss Dawn who helps her to understand how a lot of the characteristics, a lot of the traits that she has have been passed down through the mothers, through the women in her family from generation to generation to generation. When I read the synopsis of the book, I think this was the line that stuck out to me the most. Joan begins to understand that her mother, her mother's mother, and the mothers before them preserved, made impossible choices, and put their dreams on hold so that her life would not have to be defined by loss and anger, that the sole instrument she needs for healing is her paintbrush. That line really struck a chord with me, and I think this is going to be a book that I'm really going to enjoy once I get my hands on it. So again, that is Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow, and it is out April 5th of this year. Eighth book on this list is another January release. There are so many January releases on this list, it physically pains me. There's like 3 or 4 of them. But anyway, it is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and it is out January 11th. Daughter of the Moon Goddess follows Xing Yin, who's grown up on the moon. I think once I read that part of the synopsis, once it said, grown up on the moon, that reeled me in immediately because I can't wait to see what that's going to look like in the story. She's been hidden from the Celestial Emperor, who's exiled her mother, who stole a potion or an elixir for immortality. After Xing Yin is discovered, she has to flee and leave her mother behind, so the book follows her quest to rescue and save her mother. I wish I had this book now, because I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Well, not really, I'm sitting on my floor, but I feel like this is going to be a book that has me on the edge of my seat the entire time I'm reading it. I have a feeling I'm going to be unprepared. This is going to be a book that no matter how much I try to prepare myself for what might happen, I'm going to be unprepared. But I want to read it anyway. So that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan, and again, it is out January 11th, so that is next Tuesday. The 9th and final book on this list is Goliath by Tochi Onyebuchi, and it is out January 25th, because that's what this list needed, another January release. This is an adult science fiction set about 30 years in the future. The Earth is emptying, people, the wealthy and the affluent, are fleeing for the comfort of space colonies, while the people who cannot afford to leave the Earth and go to the space colonies are forced to stay on Earth and salvage what was left of their existences and try to make a life for themselves. So as much as this is science fiction, you have to wonder how far off it is until it becomes science fact. And I think that's kind of what drew me in when I read the synopsis, was that I love science fiction. If it's science fiction, I want it. But part of me also read this thinking, how far off is this from being something that could actually be a reality? So I think that's part of what drew me in when I read the synopsis of this book. So again, that is Goliath by Tochi Onyebuchi, and it is out January 25th of 2022. So there we have it. Those are the 9 books that I am the most excited about coming out between January and June of 2022. There are so many books that are coming out in this first half of the year, and it was really hard to narrow down this list to just 9 books. There are plenty of other books that I am excited about, and I am definitely going to get when they come out, but these were the 9 that I'm pretty much sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to get my hands on. Like I said at the beginning of the video, once June, July rolls around, I will make another video with 9 or 10 books that I am excited about for the second half of 2022, but this is what we have so far. So tell me in the comments, what are the books that you are most excited about coming out in the first half of 2022? Recommend some to me, because like I said, there were books coming out that didn't make the list, but there were also books coming out that I probably don't know about. So send me some recommendations in the comment. Give a like, give a subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I will see everyone in the next video. Bye.